If you're feeling stuck and not sure how to move forward, I have a great episode for you. This is the Mind Over Figure podcast, episode number 201. Today, we're talking about a topic that I hear so much from everyone, from my podcast listeners, from my clients, from my colleagues, and it happens to all of us feeling stuck. Today, I'm going to talk about what gets us stuck and what keeps us stuck, but I'm also going to bring you some strategies to change things. What can get us out of the fear of failure, out of perfectionism, and into the ability to take action and make decisions? I'm going to talk about the 5 core reasons we stay stuck, and I'm going to offer you applicable strategies to overcome them. So let's dive in and let's get unstuck. So let's talk about first what keeps us stuck. 5 things, and each one has multiple nuances. And then, of course, there's more than 5 things. So many things can keep us stuck. But let's cover 5 main ones today. The first one is not taking the time to reflect and know what we want, to get some clarity about what it is that we want to achieve, where we want to go, who we want to be. Having clarity on these things is a key element in any endeavor you want to pursue. If you watched Mastering the Stage, either on YouTube or you listened to it on the last 2 podcasts that I released, episodes 197 and 198, and if you were live with me during the workshop, you know that really understanding who you are. So, who before doing, being before doing, knowing what you want, knowing where you want to go is essential. So, when you don't have this clarity, it's easy to get distracted by everything that's around you. It's easy to be influenced. It's easy to let yourself be carried by the wave. And what you want to do is simply sit down, take the time to reflect, and get some clarity on all of these things. So that's one of the first reasons why we stay stuck, is not being intentional about where we want to be, who we want to be. And the reason why is because when we start asking these questions, it can be scary. Who do you want to be? Maybe you have ideas that are a little bit frightening right now. Well, how can I even dream this? How can I even allow myself to want those things? It's going to be very uncomfortable to get there. I don't even know how to accomplish any of these things, right? People are going to judge me if I try to do this. There's a lot of things I'm going to have to experiment with, and I might fail. So we have this fear of failure, this fear of discomfort, this fear of judgment that keeps us from actually looking at what we want or who we want to be, and keeps us stuck. It's that fear. So if you are not looking for clarity, ask yourself why. Why are you not asking yourself these questions, and what are you afraid of? The second thing that keeps us stuck is fighting where we are. One of my favorite quotes is from Byron Katie, and she says, "When you fight reality, you lose, but only every time." And I love that so much. So, whatever circumstance you're in, when you waste mental energy, physical energy, emotional energy wishing you were elsewhere, this erodes at your willpower, at your motivation, at your sense of self, at your self confidence. So, when you're fighting where you are, there's a lot of energy being expended on regrets, on regretting the past, regretting things you've done, regretting things you have not done. This really keeps us stuck. And I think maybe you can identify with this is when we start looping and we replay events in our head and wish we had done something different, said something different. And as we spiral and we really nurture these looping thoughts in our brain, that keeps us stuck. Because we let those events, we let the current situation define where we are, and we feel shackled. We really feel imprisoned by this present moment. So don't fight where you are. Embrace it, accept it, make peace with it, receive it, acknowledge it, give yourself grace, give yourself self-compassion, and understand that every moment of your life, you're always trying to do your best. I strongly believe this about all of us, about all human beings. We're always simply trying to do our best. So when you can really look at reality with a more compassionate eye, a present eye, then you get the leverage, you get the distance to start thinking about doing things differently and making changes in your life. So don't fight reality. Don't wish things were different. Make peace with your current situation. Give yourself grace as a human who is just trying to do their best and created the current situation that they're in. So fighting reality is one way that we stay stuck. And remember that quote from Byron Katie. When you fight reality, you lose, but only every time. A third reason why we stay stuck is that we think that there are right or wrong decisions, and then we don't make decision. So many times in life, we don't take action because we're lacking clarity. But that's really backwards. Is clarity comes from action, and action comes from making a decision, right? So what you want to do is you want something, make a decision. What am I going to do next? What is the next action I'm going to take? Make a decision. What are you going to do? You're going to send an email? What are you going to say in the email? Just make decisions. From making these decisions, then you take action. You write an email, or you pick up your instrument and you practice, or you apply for an audition, or you apply for a teaching position. Make a decision, which makes you take action. And with each action you take, you get results. And this shows you the next thing to do. And this gives you clarity. We cannot wait to have clarity to take action. Clarity comes from actions, and actions come from making decisions. So the issue is if we think there are right or wrong answer. Oh, I'm so glad that you resonate. Yes. There are no right or wrong answers. So sometimes we stay stuck because we can't make decisions because we think there is a right or wrong decision. There is a decision that will lead to a good outcome and one that will lead to a bad outcome. And I'm here to tell you that this is a thought error. This is not true. A decision takes you to the next step. And at that next step, at this next branch in the road, you'll make another decision. And whatever you decide, know that you can create a success out of it. You can make this a successful decision. So there are no right or wrong decisions. There's only the decisions that you make right or wrong. This is a very powerful concept to understand and accept, and it's not easy to accept. The other thing too is what I just mentioned is we're simply human beings trying to make the best out of life, trying to make the best decisions, trying to do our best at all times. So have trust that when you're making a decision with the information that you have at the time, it was the best decision that you could have made in that moment. Give yourself some grace from this. And then sometimes, yes, we might be proven wrong. Maybe we didn't have the right information. Maybe we did a calculation error on how things were going to play out. That is part of life. But know That from that decision, you took action, you got some results, you can assess what happened, you can learn, you can move forward. And that decisions you made took you somewhere, and now you're going to make a new decision to take different actions. You're going to get more clarity, but you're going to keep moving forward, and that's the key element. So start making decisions with self-compassion, with self-respect, with clarity, with objectivity. But know that there are no right or wrong decisions. There's only the decisions that you make right or wrong. And from that, you'll get clarity. So stop expecting clarity first. You need to start with the courage to make a decision, take action with all of the fears, with the fears of failure, with the fears that other might judge you, with the fears that it might be uncomfortable. And know that this will take you to your next step, where you will make another decision, take more action, get more information, more data, get more clarity. So not making decisions because you think there is a right or wrong answer is something that keeps you stuck. I was pondering this yesterday. Someone shares here when talking about my future. I was like, let's just try this life choice and explore what it will bring in our life. This is harder when you get older, but go for it. Yes. And the thing is, there's no other choice. Not making a decision is making a decision. It's making a decision to stay put. So, do you want to take an intentional decision or a default decision? And that requires courage, and that requires facing discomfort and probably experiencing discomfort, and probably experiencing failure, and probably experiencing judgment from others. That's the human experience. Yeah, so bravo for moving forward. Absolutely. Okay, number 4, worrying about what other people will think. How many things have you done or not done because you worry about what other people think? All of us, we all do it. And I am here telling you today that I hope you can separate yourself from this fear and start moving towards the thing that you feel called by. Start with the vision of what you want. Have the boldness to want what you want. I said that in Mastering the Stage. You're allowed to want what you want. And when you can learn to live with the discomfort of knowing that people are judging you, amazing things can happen. And the thing is, people will judge no matter what. They will always judge. Whether you sit at home and do nothing, they'll judge you for sitting at home and doing nothing. Or go out there and create something for yourself. And also, people will have a lot of opinions about what you're doing because sometimes it impacts their life. Sometimes you doing something wonderful for yourself makes someone else feel bad about themselves. They will judge you for that. So what is the solution then? To do nothing and experience a life that feels unfulfilling? I think that facing discomfort, facing fear, and facing judgment is something that will really lead you closer to any endeavor that you want to reach, any goal you want to reach, any dream that you have. So think about how this fear of judgment from others is holding you back, and develop that daily courage of taking actions and facing judgment. You're going to face it no matter what. People are judging all the time. So what is your choice here? What will you do? If people are judging all the time, what do you decide? Okay, number 5, perfectionism. Perfectionism keeps us stuck. Believe me, I know it. So, how do we aim for high standards? How do we aim for the best version that we can be, the best version of ourselves? How do we aim to play the best that we can play? but don't use perfectionism to hold ourselves back. That is the question that we need to answer. Because perfectionism, again, is not again, perfectionism, like fear of judgment, like, not making decisions because we think there's a wrong or right decision, fighting the reality that you're in, and not taking the time to reflect on what you want. All of these things are tied together. And perfectionism entails a little bit of all of these things. We don't make decision because we're afraid it's not the perfect decision. We're afraid of what other people are going to think. They're going to think we're not perfect. We're afraid to want what we want because it might not come out perfectly in its execution. So perfectionism, one thing I think is perfectionism doesn't just rob you of your time. It really robs you of your potential. So think about every time also that you are not starting a project because you're afraid it cannot be perfect. Or you start working on something and you give up because you feel like it's not good enough. How do you let perfectionism come in the practice room with you every day and spew hate at you and say mean things at you and eat away at your sense of self and erode your self-confidence and significantly impact the results that you're getting as you're working, as you're trying to improve? So what's very weird, and we all do it, is that in this effort of being perfect, we rob ourselves at a chance of being a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. Aiming high is good. Aiming for perfection can be very rigid and detrimental. Now, perfectionism is a big topic. Having some perfectionist traits can be serving you at times 100%, absolutely. But it's like everything in life. Everything in life can be good or bad depending on how we use it, for or against ourselves. Really hear me when I say this. Everything in life can be beneficial or detrimental to us depending on how we use it. And it's up to us to be intentional in our use of any tool, any concept, any approach, any method that we adopt. So perfectionism can be helpful at times. If perfectionism pushes you to work a little bit more, to face discomfort so something gets a little bit better, that is helpful. But we want to have the awareness to know when perfectionism starts to turn toxic. So keep that in mind. Perfectionism in itself is not a bad thing, it's how we use it. So have this awareness to start seeing how these traits, how these things are impacting you negatively. So these are 5 things, and I think 5 of the main ones that can keep you stuck. Keep them in mind over the next few days and try to increase your level of awareness of when these things show up in your life, how they show up, and how they hold you back. So let me go through them again. Not having a clear vision for yourself, not knowing what you want, not knowing who you want to be, fighting where you are, really spiraling in regrets for the things you didn't do, the things you should have done, and the places you're not. Thinking that they're right or wrong decisions, and expecting clarity without taking action. Worrying about what others will think about you, so this fear of judgment. And then finally, all of the ways that perfectionism holds you in shackles. So what we want to do is open space for a vision, open space for the questions. Who am I? What am I here to do? What do I want? What is my vision for myself? accepting where you are with love and self-respect, self-compassion, and look at where you are. Take it in. Take in the data and learn. Like, what got you here? What type of thinking got you here? What actions got you here? What fears got you here? What scarcity mindset brought you here? What motivation? All of the good, all of the bad. What brought you here? And use that to plan for the future. And remember that clarity comes from actions, and actions come from making decisions of what we're going to do next. So don't expect decisions to be right. Make them right by how you react to the results you're getting. So make a decision, take an action, and from that action, you get information, and that will bring you clarity as to what the next step should be. Try to separate yourself from the judgment of others. And really accept that it is there, right? When we fight reality, we lose, but only every time. Judgment will be there. To bring back the concept that I was talking about in the Mastering the Stage workshop, is be rooted in self. So as the person that you decide that you want to be, what do you do when you're separate from your fear of judgment? And then finally, identify how perfectionism shows up in your life in a negative way. It's also good to know when it's good for you, but how does it keep you stuck? What is it that you don't do because you're afraid it's not going to be perfect? What is it that you never turn in because you're afraid it's not going to be perfect? So I hope this is helpful. Keep that in mind over the next few days, and please keep me posted on the insight that it brings for you. And before I go to the Q&A, if there's some questions, I want to remind you that the Music Mastery Experience is now open for enrollment. So if you're someone who's feeling stuck in your life, in your career, if you feel like you're looking for something different, you're looking for more clarity, you're looking for guidance on how to start taking action, I'm here for you. So go to mindoverfinger.com/MME right now. All the information is there. And if you're looking to change things in your career, maybe you're looking to take a different turn, all of the tools are there. The systems, the methods to transform your playing, your performing, but also the life tools that will help you gain confidence, gain clarity, ease of making decisions, and really get a sense of being rooted in self. So mindoverfinger.com/MME, all the information is there. Book your call. In that strategy call, we're going to talk about what it is that you want. We're going to look at where you are, and we're going to make a plan to get you where you want to be. So book that call today, mindoverfinger.com/MME. All right, let's have some Q&As. If you have any questions or comments or insight on getting stuck, where are you stuck? How do you need support to get unstuck? I'm here for you.